When you're dating, they always tell you there are plenty of fish in the sea. But what they don't tell you is that most fish look like this. There is, however, one thing of which there aren't plenty of fish in the sea. And that is, of course, fish. And this is what this week's design is all about. Now, this week I was pretty stressed for time, so I couldn't make a complete game, and this is more of a sketch. So here it is. For my design, you're gonna need a game master. I hope you have a Redditor in your friend circle. If not, try to organize one. And you're gonna need at least 3 other players. Now for me, I'm gonna do it with 3 in my example. With another amount, you would have to change the numbers and all that, and I didn't have the time to do it, so just 3 for now, but imaginable up to 1 million. So I'm gonna set the scene here for you. You're at a nice lake, and there's 3 fishermen competing. The game master will write down the amount of fish that are currently in the sea. I would recommend going for about 20 to 40 fish in there for the beginning. There are different types of players. I would recommend in the beginning to just start out with 3 basic fishermen. The basic fishermen have a goal of, first off, surviving. That means always having enough money. For the basic fisherman, that would be $1,500. And they also have the goal of not letting all the fish in the sea die. Because, well, then you can't fish anymore, and if you can't fish anymore, what's the point to life? Each turn, every player gets to decide how many fish they want to fish. They can decide between 1 to 3 fish. They will then give that number to the game master. You might have to get him away from the chips, but that's on the side. And after your game master has finished eating and wrote down how many fish everybody fished, he will then subtract all the fish from the total amount of fish. And then he will add half of the fish into the pond again. So he will add the number on paper to the fish. Each player then gets $1,000 for every fish they fished. Now the game master has to subtract $1,500 for all 3 basic fishermen from their total amount of money. And now the players get to decide what they want to spend some of their other money on. Of course, you could also save it if you want that. Because in the end, of course, you could all lose. Or otherwise, the person with the highest amount of money wins the game. So you can spend your money on a couple of things. First off, you can buy a scan to look up how many fish are in the sea. This one will cost you $1,000, and every time you buy it, it increments by $250. If you buy a scan, the game master will tell you all, or only the players who chipped in the money, how many fish are still left in the sea. Then you can also spend $500 to ask another player how many fish they fished, and they then have to answer you. Afterwards, you have to decide if they told the truth, nothing happens. If you think they lied, you have to convince the majority of players that they lied and pay another $1,000 so they get sent to prison. Of course, they only get sent to prison if they actually lied. If they don't, you all just lost $1,500. A player who is in prison can't fish, of course, but he also doesn't lose any money if he's not actively participating. He will stay there for 2 turns, and afterwards he's able to fish again. Now, when I told you could spend your money on a couple of things, you didn't really think it would only be a couple of things. But that's sadly the case here, as I couldn't get more done. Now, I told you that you should start with basic fisherman in the beginning, and you can also imagine someone else playing, for example, a corporation, which would of course have to lose more money per turn, but also could gain more fish, could fish more. For example, they would lose $2,500 a turn, but they could fish 5 fish, for example, in a turn. And that's it for my design. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you check out Ivan's design as well. And I hope you tune in to us talking about our design. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.